Good evening, biology students. I hope your day has been good. Welcome to Dynamically Learn Initiative. It's an initiative that was founded to help you learn biology at home. Yeah, as I had said earlier on in lesson one, you can find free to reach me through the numbers and the email in case you need help. So in our lesson, this is our lesson two. We'll be talking about excretion in unicellular organism, and we'll look at the protozoans, of which we'll look at amoeba. So we'll look at how it goes through the process of excretion. So you have the following learning intention. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to describe how unicellular organisms carry out the process of excretion, describes ways in which unicellular organisms get rid of waste products from their bodies actually. Um, we'll look at that in details, describe the structure and functions of the lung, and also give the role of the skin. So let's look at excretion and homeostasis in amoeba. I had defined the terms excretion and homeostasis in our previous lesson. In case you didn't get it right, excretion is a process by which living organisms separate and eliminate waste products of their metabolic activities. Waste products that have been accumulated as a result of metabolic activities in their bodies. When you talk about homeostasis, this is a self-regulatory mechanism that's meant to make the internal environment of the cells under a steady state. So protozoans such as the amoeba live in water. Their bodies are very small and therefore simple diffusion can cater for the removal of waste products. The body of amoeba is in contact with water. So you find that the surface area to volume ratio is big and therefore the the waste products can easily diffuse from where they are actually highly concentrated to where they are lowly concentrated, which is the water. So carbon dioxide is removed through diffusion. Excess water and mineral salts are removed by the help of contractile vacuoles. So a vacuole is a cell structure which accumulate those excess water and they dissolve mineral salts, and it moves towards the plasma membrane, and once it reaches there, it bursts, releasing the contents to the surface. So excess water and dissolved mineral salts are collected in the contractile vacuoles. Upon reaching the maximum size, the vacuoles move towards the cell surface, actually toward the cell membrane, which is also called the plasma membrane, and burst, releasing the contents. So the process continues. This is just to ensure that the internal structures of internal structure within the body of amoeba, they're actually in the conducive state. Otherwise, it may end up dying. So this diagram shows the diagram of it represents amoeba. So this is how amoeba looks like. We have the pseudopod. This is meant for movement. We have the contractile vacuole, which collects those waste products. We have the endoplasm and the ectoplasm. We also have the membrane, the nucleus, which is just like the controller of every activity that happens in the cell, and then food vacuole is just meant for accumulating food to help it undergo the process of nutrition. So let's look at excretion in animals. Now, for this case, we talk about multicellular organisms, which include human beings, the vertebrates. Human beings are the vertebrates. Let me just talk about that. We look at the mammals, reptiles, we have the amphibians, the fish, etc. So animals have elaborate systems of specialized tissues and organs. So cell specialization is differentiation of the cells to their roles. So the cells have been differentiated, they have been formed in such a way that they can be able to perform their roles effectively. So diffusion alone cannot cater for excretory needs of these animals, and therefore we are having some tissues and organs such as the flame cells of platyhelminths. These ones are the flatworms, e.g. the tapeworms, of which we have got different species. We have the solium and signata, and then you also have the nephridian of annelids. Annelids include things like earthworms, roundworms, those worms. So they are under class Annelida. And then you also have malpighian tubules of insect gills, lungs, liver, kidney of vertebrates. So the organs are specialized in different habitats such as marine, freshwater, and terrestrial. So let's look at the lung. The lung has a chief role of expelling carbon dioxide from the body. It's made up of small air sacs which are called the alveoli, and they have got a single layer of epithelium. So it means that it's thin, and the purpose of that thinness is to allow for easy diffusion of the gases from the bloodstream to the alveoli cavity. So you look at that. So carbon dioxide content in the blood flowing through the capillaries is higher than the concentration in the alveolar space, and therefore carbon dioxide is going to move from where it's highly concentrated to where it's lowly concentrated, and later through the process of exhalation it's going to be removed from the body. So the diagram here illustrates the structure of the lungs. You can see this how the lung look like. There are two in human body. So the diagram on the left represents the alveoli. So inside the alveoli is when you have the alveolar cavity. So that's where you're going to have carbon dioxide collected, which is later released from the body. So let's look at the skin. This is the main organ. Actually, you can say it's the largest organ that covers the whole surface of the body and extends to some other parts such as the nostrils, the mouth, and the ears. So it has the following roles. The skin protects the underlying organs against mechanical damage. That damage can occur due to frictions. We have thermoregulation, so you'll come to understand that later. The skin has sweat glands which excretes sweat. So when sweat evaporates, it draws away latent heat from the body surface, resulting to cooling. We also have excretion of salts, excess water, and traces of urea. And then we have sensitivity. The skin has got various receptor cells, yeah, which are responsible for detection of the stimuli, such as pain, pressure, yeah, heat, etc. So the skin also has a subcutaneous fat, which is meant for storage of fats. It's the subcutaneous fat has got fat inside. So that fat has got a lot of roles. It has got several roles like insulating the body against excess heat loss. The skin also is responsible for the synthesis of vitamin D. Yeah, you know, vitamin D is important in the active absorption of calcium in the gut. Okay, for those ones who have taken time to go through this lesson, once again, I echo a word of appreciation. You can refer a friend to go through the lessons for the purpose of familiarity. Just familiarize yourself with what you need to know. This lesson is helpful to any student, any high school biology student. Otherwise, thank you. May you have a nice time. See you in our next lesson.